Hello and welcome to another episode of In the Stands. You are joined by myself, Adam Dedman, and Thomas Batt as per usual. And linking to as per usual, Yorkie isn't with us, and I'm convinced that Yorkie just doesn't want to be here anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, do you know what? We're more likely getting other guests on than Yorkie, and he's supposed to be. I think it's a two-man job now. This podcast
it is.
It's just going to have to be a two-man between us two.
You know, unfortunately, York's ain't with us again, and we do hope that he does come back, but we just don't know what state he's in.
I mean, I think you're probably happy he's not here today, though.
We'll get into that. Firstly, we're going to talk about the Carabao Cup final that happened on Sunday.
That was brilliant. I loved it.
Some of us loved it. Some of us
every bit of it.
Didn't love it.
So that you're actually going to need therapy for, right? Talking about therapy, you're going to need therapy now, right? Because that was all you had. That was your lifeline. To be honest,
I think,
and you just chucked it down.
I think every Chelsea fan could probably say they need therapy after just last season alone. To be honest, so this is just an addition to therapy, isn't it? Really.
So technically, on paper, you've had a worse season than Tottenham.
Not really. Well, we're still in the FA Cup, mate. We're still in the FA Cup.
Mate, you're not winning the FA Cup. Mate, you're not winning the FA Cup.
Anyway.
I mean, talking about it, I mean, we'll bring it up later because we've got some FA Cup reaction later. Yeah. Little spoiler ahead. But let's go back to the Carabao Cup. So, what was your thoughts? I mean, I want to just hear you have your little therapy session. I'm like your therapy person. Go on, talk to me. Let it all out. How was it? Say any feelings you want.
Look, first I want to say congratulations to Liverpool for winning the
here he goes.
Carabao Cup. But I want to talk about Gary Neville's comments first, because it's not that.
Is he wrong?
Yes, he's wrong. But if you think he's right, you've lost the plot. Right.
No, of course not.
Firstly, just the thing about the age, right? Liverpool's average age of the squad was higher than ours, right? Only by 1 year, but still. The only difference that I would have...
Yeah, but can I...
I ain't finished. I ain't finished.
Okay. I'll break it down
after. You don't? I'll break it down for you.
I do agree with
you. The only thing that I would have said is that they've made use of their own academy rather than going out spending
100 million,
isn't it, on youngsters from other clubs. That's the only difference. That's called us bottle jobs as well. It's not like we went 2-0 up and lost 3-2. It was just we had so many missed chances.
Yeah, it was just
I understand his points, but they're very. I think, Jot. Firstly, you do your little player slander or whatever it is. I'm gonna do Bayern slander. I hate Gary Neville.
Oh, really?
Jot, Gary Neville, mate. If you're watching this, which you definitely aren't, I hate him.
He's very. If he's watching,
do you know? For me, I loved punditry when it was relatable to the game in the sense that Jamie Carragher is commentating because Liverpool are playing. Why is Gary Neville on there? He's ex-United player. What's he got to do with the game? It's just someone there. I'm like, what are you doing? I understand Sky have got their commentators.
You know what? Do you know the worst part is? He's not even a great commentator, great presenter. I get they are good together. They do bounce off each other, Carragher and Neville, in a way. They do bounce off each other.
Why is he there though? What is he doing?
But he's very biased.
Yeah, well, so is Carragher though.
I think no, but Carragher was different because he actually supports Liverpool. But I think Gary Neville is very biased towards certain teams. Like he doesn't like London teams. Gary Neville doesn't like Spurs. Doesn't like Arsenal. Doesn't like Chelsea. Anytime even West Ham. Anytime like a London team has a really big, drop off or something like that, he's always got something to say. But when he's going good, it's just like, yeah, they're doing well. They're not going to win something. Like he never says look. I think Arsenal. Also quickly, I just want to say Arsenal are probably one of the best teams at the moment, right? In the Prem, they're probably on paper doing the best at the moment in the Premier League. They've scored, consecutively 2 goals in every half, so like the last 7, which is crazy. That's a crazy stat to have. I don't care who they've played; they've still beat Liverpool, etc., and they've just beaten Newcastle. But the fact that he can say, "Oh, they won't win the Prem," like just out of that, it's just obvious he doesn't like London teams. He just doesn't like it. When United played Spurs, it wasn't Spurs played well, etc., which we did. We played good against United, considering we were at Old Trafford. No, it was, United
Look,
were
I can't
terrible.
lie.
Rashford's terrible. It's never.
It's when he said Ronaldo's the best player of all time, and Carragher said Messi. That's enough for me. Like G Neville don't know ball. I'm going to be honest. He doesn't know ball. He doesn't get it.
He does. He's just very biased. He's very, very biased. And so is Roy Keane. Roy Keane's one of the worst. I like him. He's one of the worst.
Yeah, but anyway, I want to quickly just summarise his words, his comments.
Yeah. Wait, just quick. While you're on player slander, any player slanders at all for the Chelsea team? Anyone you want to really have a go at?
Let me just finish and summarise these Gary Neville comments.
Okay. So I've got one.
I agree with him to some extent. However, Liverpool had a younger squad in average, and the person who assisted the goal was 25 or 27, whatever, and the man who scored it was in 32, 33. So I don't know.
Yeah, it was Tsimikas and Van Dijk, wasn't it? Tsimikas,
yeah,
I don't know if that's how you say
but look,
it.
I'm not saying you've got to think about positives, because to be honest, the chances we had were better than Liverpool's. But I look at it in a way where we both had disallowed goals. The other disallowed goal that Liverpool got, I genuinely don't know what those. Well, I know why, because Endo was offside and they felt like he interfered with play by blocking off a defender. But that was just a load of bollocks, really, because Casemiro did it. Do
you know what, though? Do you know what? I did watch it, and I wanted Chelsea to lose. Obviously, I'm a Tottenham supporter. I think any London team wants their London club to lose. But I was watching it, and do you know what? It sounds crazy, but I actually think it was good refereeing.
Really?
I honestly do, because you got to remember Van Dijk, when he was being defended in that situation, who was marking him? Like, who was defending him? It was someone short, right? Yeah. It was so obvious Colwill was supposed to be the man to mark Van Dijk. That's quite an obvious. You could see that he's going to do that. He's going to mark. And if Endo's interfered with play by blocking Colwill's run, and Endo's in an offside position to start with, then I know it happens a lot, but everyone knows if you're in an offside, this is the rule. This is literally an offside rule. It can happen a lot, but if a player is offside and interferes with the play that, could have possibly interfered with play, which he did, because Colwill he's on Van Dijk. He was the whole game. That's what the marking criteria was. So if that's going to happen and he's interfering with play and he starts off in an offside position, interfering with that play, then he's offside. It's strange because we've never seen it, but I didn't see too many people complaining because I thought it was quite fair.
Yeah, but
the commentators thought it was fair. It was it's weird because we've never seen something
100%,
like it.
100% right. And
I'm kind of
I thought
it was good refereeing.
I get the perspective, but the problem goes again. Casemiro did the exact same thing in the Forest game last night, and
this is what I mean. I was about to say,
but
I was about to say I was a bit scared. So I thought on the day it was good refereeing, but this consistency, now it's happened once, it's going to happen so many times, and it's going to get worse. This is the thing, though. Like, you keep saying, so much worse.
You said rules, and these are the rules, but clearly they're not the rules because the referees are having different perceptions on everything. So
yeah, I have no clue.
That's where I'm sort of like, in my opinion, I don't think it is offside. Like, I believe if Chilwell's marking him and Cole is behind Van Dijk, that means Cole isn't Van Dijk's marker. So
no, but Colwill. But you saw the whole game. Colwill was on top of Van Dijk. His run got blocked by Endo. Endo just stood there and literally he kind of had his arms out as well. So he actually held him as well, which you can't really do. You can't hold a player back.
Yeah.
But do you know what's funny though? If Endo was just in an onside position, it would have been counted as a goal.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a foul. But it's because he's in an offside position and it's just interfering with the play. So I get it's harsh, and I wouldn't want it against me. It's one of those ones that for you, you're like, yes. And then against you, you're like, come on, are you joking me like that? But it's, in the end of the day, I do think it was good officiating.
Yeah. Well,
I do think it was good.
To round it up, because obviously it's happened now. I think, as I was saying, congratulations to Liverpool. And Joe, I think we need to learn a lesson from Liverpool and have a look at our academy and potentially stop selling our youngsters and potentially try and use them. Because I think, for me, what stood out most about the Liverpool players is their work rate coming off from the bench to these youngsters, because they're probably very passionate about playing for a club that they've took so much time in playing for. It's very hard to make professional football. I think people don't realise that. Some of these players have been at academies for nearly 10 years. So
Longer.
yeah, exactly. So you think if once you finally get that chance to play for that team that you've been part of since young, is such a big moment and a big occasion for them. So they're going to put everything.
They did it against Southampton as well, didn't
exactly
they?
That, yeah,
they stepped up against Southampton.
That's the thing, though, and it's similarly to when Lampard first took over for us and got us top four. You think the team we had a transfer ban. Hazard left, so we had to make use of the academy. We had Fikayo Tomori playing. Abraham got his chance. Mason Mount had his debut season. I think Reece James had his debut season with us. So
Reece
and
James,
we got top four because we had passionate players, and these type of players as well. They become the core of the dressing room within the space of 2-3 years. Because
who's your best player right now? Who's your best player right now?
Right now, I'll probably give it Petrovic.
Really?
Yes, I would probably say Petrovic.
Look, I know. I'm sorry. I know he missed a few chances, but your best player right now, I'd say on paper, is Conor Gallagher.
No, I'd give it Petrovic.
I know Palmer can score goals, but I think Gallagher's one of your best players. Though he's your leader of that team. And where did he come from? Your academy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it just shows the academy. Yeah. You know, you've bought all these youngsters, but the academy.
But I think anyone
200 mil players, and Conor Gallagher's the best of the three.
Yeah. Look, I think that's.
And you're going to have to tell him. That's the scariest part. He wants to build a team round him, Poch, but you're going to have to sell him because you've got no one else
in the team who we can't like. For me, Nathaniel Chalobah isn't good enough, and I think Armando Broja is not good enough, and we could probably get some decent money for them.
Yeah. I mean, maybe a little bit, but you're in a lot of debt. You need to sell players, and Gallagher's someone
who's on the up. We're on the up. We're not on debt. We're on the up.
Yeah, you're probably on the up a little bit, but if you want to spend money in the next window, you're going to need big money, and Gallagher is one of those people you can make 70 mil off probably now, 60 mil, 70 mil.
No, I think we've got players there who we can get rid of that can. Yeah. But
I just want to say, I've player slandered him before, and I'm gonna do it again. And I think you know it's coming. It's Mudryk.
Didn't even play.
He did. He came on from the bench, and do you know what the worst part is? What's his main attribute?
Pace.
What is his main attribute? Pace. He's come on in the last few minutes, not last few minutes. He played a whole overtime as well. You got to remember, he played the second half of when he came on and the whole overtime. Okay, he's against tired legs, youngsters who have tired legs.
I'm going to disagree. Yeah,
and he didn't do anything. He didn't do a thing. I don't think he even beat a man once. He was terrible.
He came. How terrible. Did he play for? Like 15 minutes?
Well, he played 30 minutes of an overtime plus whenever he came on in the second half. Look, the point of a sub is you've got to make a bit of an impact. At least use your pace, run down the wing. Look at Adama Traore for Fulham against United. He's not the best player in the world, but his pace caused so much damage that it led to Fulham winning that game. I don't know if you saw the goal that they scored, the second goal that won the game against United. But Adama literally ran past four people, ball across, and Iwobi scored. That's what Mudryk needs to do. All he needed to do, I'm not saying he needed to score a goal or make an assist, but just cause a bit of threat, run down the wing, put a ball in, put a dangerous ball in, so maybe causes a bit of, chaos.
Really up against tired legs.
A whole overtime, you did nothing. You did nothing in a whole overtime.
Like Joe Gomez had been subbed on through the game, so he wasn't really up against tired legs. He was up against a player who'd played 45 minutes.
But he's still fresh. He's still fresh legs, and he's one of the fastest probably in the Prem. And he didn't use.
I'd argue that it's very hard to just come straight off the bench and do that because you've got to adjust to the rhythm of the game. Like a lot of professionals have said that coming off the bench is one of the hardest things because all of the players around you are
it probably is.
So it's not like, especially for a winger, you're coming up against a fullback who has basically had a warm up before you've just come on. It's very difficult to. I think the problem with Mudryk is I just genuinely don't think he suits our system. I think he suits like a very
he's just terrible
or a very.
Do you know what? He scares me. But he would probably. It'd suit our system better.
Yeah,
but I still don't think I would like him at Spurs. I prefer Werner at Spurs over Mudryk. Honestly,
this is what I mean. You're waffling, man. Like Mudryk is a good player.
No. Why am I waffling? I just think Werner can do a bit more. I just think Werner can actually. I'm not saying his finishing's better, but I think his actual final product's better. Like he actually finds the right man to pass the ball. He's got about 4 assists for us already. You can't push him aside. Everyone pushed him aside saying it's a terrible signing. He's played great for us since he's come in. Amazing for us.
Yeah, but I'm not denying
He's settled straight into that Tottenham side.
For me,
Mudryk's done nothing for 2 years. 2 years now.
Yeah, but it's going to take
2 seasons and Mudryk's done nothing. What have you? Tell me something good Mudryk's done for 2 seasons now. And I know he's young. Yeah,
but this is the thing. 2 seasons. This is the thing, though, is that they're all very young. This is what I was going to round up with this Carabao Cup thing. You've got to remember, this is the first final for many of these players, right? I know people say, well, yeah, it should be like any other match, but it's not. Finals are very... Malo Gusto...
No, I agree with you. And you know what? It did track with Van Dijk. Van Dijk, you could see how experienced he was in the final.
Let me just go back to your point. Right? I understand he might not have done much in the space of 2 years or whatever, but I still think all of these players that we have are very young and they're still learning the game. And I do think that to have reached a cup final, now they've understood the emotions of what it's like. It's time for them to now bounce back. Look, it's development, isn't it? It's all about development, and these things are going to take time.
No offense, though. You had a very easy run. I'm not putting it aside to you, but you did have a very easy run to get there. You didn't have a difficult run, but you still got there. I'm not going to put you down that much, but you did have an easy. I mean, you had 2 championship sides, and then Newcastle at home, right? You had Newcastle at home,
but still,
and scored in the last minute.
And who scored it?
Fair enough. You got past Newcastle. Yeah, exactly. He did score. He did score it, to be fair. I mean, a mistake from Trippier, but he did score. He picked up the pieces, but still.
So, yeah, look.
But yeah, I get you're young, but I still think, though, I know Liverpool, I know you say, sorry, I know I'm going on, but I know your team is younger than Liverpool's on paper. I know you guys keep saying that. But I know they still had some experienced players in, but I still think a team that you had that's played all season, they've played together all season, your players. They've got their system. They've played together all season, most of them. They should be able to compete or be better than a Liverpool side that have youngsters chucked in, because I know they've got courage and all that, but they're not match sharp. They don't know how to play in a match. But do you know what? Those youngsters they brought on, no offence, but those youngsters they brought on in that Liverpool thing felt like they were more winners. They had a better winning mentality, and they've never played in a final. They've never played for Liverpool. But they have a better winning mentality than those players you had on the pitch.
They've obviously been in the dressing room. They've been in training with winners. Van Dijk is a Champions League, Premier League, domestic trophy winner. Like he's with,
of course,
they're going to be surrounded a lot of professionals. This is the thing.
There's only 2 players on that pitch for Chelsea that I thought could win you the game, and it was Conor Gallagher and it was Raheem Sterling. They were the only 2.
But look, this is the difference. So
Raheem Sterling, you could see that. Who is
there in our team who is actually going? Like, I don't feel like we have a leader. We don't have a leader.
You have Silva. Thiago Silva is.
Like,
he is a leader.
Captain's a Brazilian. He can't even do that in English.
Yeah, but we do that. Some of our players are like Richarlison's Brazilian.
He genuinely can't speak English. That's why he's not captain, because he can't speak English.
Okay, fair enough.
And then as well, Conor Gallagher isn't a leader. I'd say he might be a slightly influential player in the. We haven't got a leader.
He will become a leader. He will become a leader.
One of them players who's very like he's good for team morale, and I think he's good to have. But I wouldn't say he's a leader. I think that's.
No, I would say he's a leader because he reminds me. He does remind me. I'm not saying he reminds me of that quality, but he's good. He gives me Jordan Henderson, Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard sort of vibes where don't stop running. Doesn't stop. Neither of them. Look, Jordan Henderson wasn't the greatest player, but he didn't stop running that entire game and he tried his best, etc. Gallagher's a better player than Jordan Henderson and he doesn't stop running the entire game. That's what a leader is, and that's why I think Gallagher will become a leader, and that's why he's the captain of Chelsea.
He's not though. That is why he's there. Ben Chilwell captains.
Yeah, but but Chilwell don't stop. Yeah, I think he's actually a good player. He doesn't stop running, but I think Gallagher's your leader because Chilwell. I don't know why Chilwell's your captain because Chilwell gets in fights and stuff like that. Like he got in a fight with Conor Bradley. He got in a fight with a young. Come on, be more experienced than that.
I genuinely don't think Conor Gallagher's a leader. I understand he runs a lot and he works, and his work rate's incredible. But
fair enough.
I just don't think he's someone who, for me, a leader is someone who's got to have so much experience under them, understands what winning's like, understand what trophy, to actually claim a trophy. If you look at all the top clubs in this league, right, their leaders are people who have had experience, have won things, been part of amazing sides, incredible sides. There's a reason as to why they're a leader. It's not just they're good in the dressing room, they work. No, it's also being part of such a big experience. Like if Silva was elsewhere, like in PSG, for instance, he'd probably be the leader. But it's because he can't speak English, and he knows that. So, because I think he didn't anticipate himself being in England for this long. That's why. So I don't think he's actually bothered learning the language.
I still think he'll be a good leader, though, Gallagher. I still think he's a future leader. I get what you mean by he hasn't got the winning stuff, but I think he's got all the attributes to be one.
Potentially.
The thing is, as a captain, when you watch a captain in a Sunday league, I know it's different, but when you watch someone in a Sunday league, you're looking at the person that works hard off the ball. When you watch them, they make you desire to do what they're doing, etc., etc. So he will be there. But just quick one, literally quick answer. You don't think Conor Gallagher will ever be a leader?
I do think he'll be. Okay.
Yes or no? Just quick. Yes or no? No other answers. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. And just to quickly round this up, Liverpool obviously won the Carabao Cup. They're en route to the quad. Do you think they can do it?
Nah. I don't think they'll get Champions League. And I don't.
They're not in Champions League. They're in the Europa League.
I forgot about that.
So they've got the Prem. They've got the Prem, FA
Cup,
I
don't think they'll do it. I don't think
Europa.
Because I think they won't win. I don't think they'll win the FA Cup. Premier League's a bit. It's not.
So how many do you think they're going to end the season with?
I think they'll get
how many trophies?
Look, Europa League's definitely there, but Bayer Leverkusen is so good, so that's going to be tough.
So you're saying 2?
They'll get one more trophy. I don't know what they'll get, but they could get an FA Cup or Europa League. I don't think they'll get Prem.
Okay. And if they do win the quad, just hypothesis, if they do win the quad, is it better than United and Manchester City's treble?
No.
No? Why not?
If they win the Europa League, it's not the same as winning Champions League.
No, but they've still won everything else.
But it's not the same as winning the Champions League. It's so much more difficult.
So you'd say the trebles is much better than the quad? I agree with you.
Because
giving you a question.
You've got to think about the reputation of the trophies. Like Carabao Cup, fair enough. If they win the Prem, fair enough.
Yeah.
FA Cup, fair enough. But the Europa League, like every time a Chelsea have entered that competition, we've won it. It's not like if you're a top English side, you should be able to win it. Realistically, Liverpool should win it because there's not much.
I wonder if there actually ever be a team that, because it's never happened in in general. I mean, I don't know if you count Real Madrid if they have trophies, etc. But I don't think there's ever been an English side that's won a quad yet.
Think I think United.
So it'd be very
City
interesting.
came close last season.
City obviously came close. United, I don't think they literally just scraped their treble. They made a comeback in the Champions League final.
But I just think if they win the quad, it's a great achievement. Don't get me wrong, but it's just Europa League. It's not. I don't think Europa League's a massive achievement. As a Chelsea fan, it's just the competition that we've won because the competition in there isn't that good. You could say the competition in the Europa League has increased, but I can literally only think of Bayer Leverkusen in there. I don't really know who else is in there.
So that was a pretty big chat on the Carabao Cup round. I think it was important though. There was a lot of different things you could take out there. But I'd like to see what you guys think at home. Comment or going to post some shorts on the TikTok. So get involved in that. See what you guys think. I want to hear what people think. So I think that Conor Gallagher chat was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
myself.
I think the same. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, of course, we had more football this week.
Did.
Do you want to take us away with the FA Cup reaction?
We're going to start off with. Well, actually, I think we'll do an accumulation of results. There was.
So all the Prem teams won, right? All the big Prem teams.
We'll look at a few. There was 2 late winners for United. Well, as in individually, one for United, one for Chelsea. Both teams leaving it late. Fortunately, I was not watching the Chelsea game because I had an interview. So I cannot really give you too much. Imagine an interview, Tom, at 8:00 till 9:30.
Yeah, that's mental.
I was so angry.
A whole minute. You said it was 90 minutes.
Mate, it was a full game. The interview started from kickoff, and I thought, I might, surely this is gonna end before full time. No, it's still there, still waffling away.
What would your reaction be, though, if you come out and it was 2-2 in overtime?
Okay, look, here's the thing, right? Is we've got Leicester next, right? And I'm going to say about Leicester and Leeds and a bit of Southampton.
Is it you at home or Leicester at home? Sorry,
we're at home. Luck of the draw again.
Okay.
But what I would like to say is that I still view Leeds and Leicester as Premier League clubs. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But having said that, the goals, I looked at the highlights and the goals we conceded, the first goal is just a reason why.
Oh, I saw a mistake. Diassi and Caicedo, right? I actually blame Diassi more.
The person I'm blaming is Sanchez. Look, right, if you think, right, if you're a keeper, right, you can see the whole pitch in front of you. I've seen, just from a camera, from a broadcasting television camera, 4 Leeds players on the edge of our box. The keeper starting the play, right, because it's a goal kick. Why on earth would you choose to play out from the back when there's 4 Leeds players?
Because play out the back. That's what every team does. And do you know what?
No,
good teams, and do you know what? The teams have been doing it this year, City, and do you know what I'm going to say it? Arsenal, us, Spurs, we've done it very well. The good teams get out of it very well. And once they're away, and this is the reason I would say, as watching Spurs as a whole, the reason we've been so good this season, we're confident at passing out the back. And as soon as you beat that press, you're away.
100%.
And with the pace that we had, you're away. But Chelsea, all season, you can see they can't play out the back. They've got no Diassi, Petrovic, which I've liked because he just kicks the ball. He just kicks it away if he needs to.
This is my point. There's a time and place to play out from the back. There's
Diassi,
a time and a place.
I know. Diassi can't play out the back. Diassi, Joe, I don't know if you like him or not. I think he's very inconsistent.
Yeah,
sometimes he can have a weldy and sometimes he can, like that Leeds game, terrible. And the Carabao Cup final, terrible.
I wouldn't say terrible. He was just mediocre.
He was pretty poor in that game. He was pretty poor.
But one thing I would say is that, look, I'm saying it's Sanchez's fault. As I said, you're a keeper. You see the whole pitch. One thing I would say about playing out from the back is it requires a lot of movement from your midfielders. What I see constantly is I would never say it's a centre-back's fault because it's very difficult for a centre-back to play the right pass because they're not playmakers. They're not. Their job is to defend the goal, right? That is their base.
Of course.
So I'd say it's more about the movement of the midfield. Now, one thing I hate is Caicedo isn't really moving. He's just constantly stationary.
I find it really weird with him as well because at Brighton, they're a possession-based team. They pass and move, and he was really good at being that. But do you know what he did? He doesn't do this, and I don't know if it's his fault or the way Chelsea is set up, but at Brighton, he was like the powerhouse. He would go from starting off an attacking defence to being all the way forward. It is, and do you know what? And I know he gets played under pressure, but when he was at Brighton, he dealt with that pressure. He was fine. So I think it is. You're right. It's a lack of movement. He's got no one to play the ball to. He wants to play the ball forwards. But there's no one helping him forwards, and that's why Gallagher, I think, has to come so far back. He doesn't want to, but he has to try to pick up that ball because
as well in our setup, he's too close to the box. Like you're gonna get tackled. But look. It's the key to Sanchez's fault. You've got to read the room. You've got to read the situation.
I also blame Diassi though.
Yeah,
in a way. I do blame because look, I know Diassi. Look, what's your number one? You play Sunday League. If you're under pressure, what's the number one rule? Get it out, right? Just get it out. Even if you lose possession, get it out. Get it out of your 6-yard box. Caicedo is running towards Diassi to try and help him. But he's obviously, it's so obvious, got a man over his shoulder the entire time. So Diassi, I know he's in a bit of a panic and all that, but surely as a professional, you can see that and just maybe just knock it up the pitch, just hit it up the pitch. Yeah. Or even, it sounds stupid, just play back to Sanchez and let him just kick it out quick. Just let him do that.
That's
sometimes all you've got to do. We do it Tottenham. Sometimes it's just, we do it, Spurs don't do it. Sometimes it's just play back to Vicaria and let him boot it out. Let him boot it out. That's sometimes what we do. And if it goes out and it's the other team's possession, fair enough. But at least you're not getting tackled on your 6-yard box. And what did it do? Conceded a goal.
But
straight from there. Good finish.
Well, I mean, it's right.
Terrible
goal. But yeah, I don't see Sanchez getting back into the squad.
No.
But that's why I said Petrovic has been our best player this season because He's actually really
quality,
good.
Petrovic.
Look, we've had a lot of goals go against us, but at the same time, I do think none of them have really been his fault. He's not really been a mistake. There's not a goal where I've gone, I should get to that. If anything, they've been really good finishes in our own box where you're asking your goalkeeper to be reacting like the speed of light. Do you know what I mean? Nothing's been his fault. He's been really good.
I do rate him a lot. I think he's been a great signing for you. Do you know what? I was going to say that if you guys don't want a keeper, like if you need another keeper, if you don't think Petrovic is your perfect starter, I don't know why no one's ever picked him up, because everyone picks up like second goalies, right? And I know you're linked with Ramsdale as one of them, aren't you? Because he's a second goal at the moment. He wants game time. But I don't ever understand, and we'll just quickly come off because we spoke about this team too much already. We need to move on. But that keeper that played for Liverpool, Keller is his name. He is unbelievable. He's honestly such a good keeper. Why has no one picked him up? He's 25, right? And he's a great keeper. Why has no one ever picked him up? He would be great for you. He can play out the back. He's great. He's strong in the air. He's a good keeper. I don't know why no one's ever. Okay. I've always said it. I don't know why.
No, he's good. He is good. But
he never. Think of Emi Martinez. He was okay. Like, he was good, but he wasn't good enough to start. But once he started starting, 11, got in a team where he gets to 11, one of the best keepers in the world. And I think that Keller's got the potential as well.
Potentially, yeah.
And if you're buying young players, I mean, you have to buy under 23s, don't you, being you? But he would be a great signing because he's only 25 as a keeper. That's really young. That's very young. But anyway, moving on. Sorry, moving on. I was just curious. You were talking about keepers, and I just thought it was a keeper that just had to be mentioned. But we got other games as well, don't we? We'll come off the Chelsea chat. I think they've had enough of Chelsea now. Yeah, I know. It's just repetitive, ain't it?
It's tough being a fan at the moment.
But United, talk about that as well.
United late winner.
What did you think? Did you watch the game or watch the highlights at all?
I couldn't watch any of the games. I didn't watch the highlights.
Did you watch any of the highlights?
Casemiro goal, but I didn't.
I heard they were terrible. I heard they were terrible.
Newcastle won on penalties against Blackburn. But there's a big thing that we need to pick up on with these teams is, I say United less of and Chelsea less of. I think Ten Hag and Poch are being backed, but Newcastle have dropped significantly recently. A lot of people saying because of injuries. But
everyone's had injuries.
Exactly.
We've had injuries, and we're fit, and we're fighting for top 4.
What do you think of the stance of not Ten Hag? Sorry. What do you think of the stance of Eddie Howe?
I think he should stay. I don't think he's a bad manager. I think Newcastle they overachieved too highly last season, and that's put a really bad presentation on them because on them because they got Champions League football, top 4, great. They were great at home, unstoppable at home. And this season, it's all fallen off. And I said it as well. I said at the start of the season, being in the Champions League will knock Newcastle straight off the.
Everyone predicted that, to be honest.
But I said it, and you know what? I thought it was going to happen to Arsenal as well. But fair enough, they've proved me wrong. Being in Champions League, I thought they might struggle a little bit, but they haven't had injuries. That's what's helped them. But going back to Newcastle, that's what's happened. They've got in the Champions League, and it kind of really affected their season. Loads of game time, getting players injured. They have had a lot of crucial injuries. Don't get me wrong. They've had 2 strikers out at once, but right now they've got players. Right now they've got no reason to not be playing good. They've got Willock back now. I mean, he only just come back, but he's back. Gordon, Isaac, Almiron. They've got the same front 3 that they did last year. Midfielders, Bruno. They've always had Bruno. He's their best midfielder. I know they're missing Tonali, which is a big loss, and Joelinton as well. So they are missing their two big midfielders, but then they still go and praise like Sean Longstaff being one of the best English midfielders should go to the Euro. So I don't get how you can. Newcastle fans are very weird because how can you keep saying, I don't understand Newcastle. How can you say Sean Longstaff should be playing in the Euros for England? He's that good, but then say, but we're missing Tonali and Joelinton, and they start over him. So I don't get how you can say that.
I do think injuries have been a problem, and obviously Tonali and his betting scandal.
Been a problem for everyone. Yeah, everyone has had it. Liverpool have had it. They've just won a Carabao Cup, and They've got through in a trophy easy. Southampton breeze 3-0, and they're still like in the title race easy at the Prem. Still in order. Who else? You had Chelsea. I know they've had injuries, but
Nkunku's out again.
You still got injuries, but you're doing okay for what you have, considering you've got a load of youngsters and you're trying to put a team together. United have had a loads of injuries, but had a torrid season, but look where they are. Back. You know, I don't think Tottenham have had injuries. I know I'm bringing back up. Tottenham have had injuries. We had a back four fullbacks, but we're still in a top four race.
The problem with Newcastle,
so it's no excuses with injuries. The problem with
Newcastle is when you open yourself up to Europe, and I know it's mental to bring back to this, but if you look at Burnley when they went into the Europa League, it's a big ask because they've got the starting 11 and they've got a few subs for these big tournaments, but the depth isn't there. And I do agree that Newcastle massively overachieved last season. They did,
and you know it's put such a bad imprint on them because fans. Luckily, I don't think fans are expecting it. A lot of fans are happy where they are right now because they're kind of like they understand now that they greatly overachieved last season.
Well, I think
but do the owners think that? That's the problem.
Is there's probably a lot of underlying financial issues that Newcastle have had in the past, which I think has affected the amount of spending that they can do in transfer windows. Right? They've definitely got the money to sort out the debts and etc. But they haven't been able to spend as much because of these underlying debts and these financial problems that Newcastle probably have due to 5 to 10 years of Mike Ashley poorly running the club into the ground. So obviously there's a lot of underlying issues that Newcastle probably have to go through. Don't get me wrong. I still think a mid-table finish is perfect for Newcastle because they can just focus on the league. They're not in any competition rather than FA Cups. They beat Blackburn. But at the same time, I think even if they get knocked out of the FA Cup, it's not a disaster. I don't think.
I think their season's more or less finished. They could get like a top 7 or top half of the table. Go into the summer, rebuild. You know, get your players back, buy some more players. You know, sell a few. You know, you'll be fine. I know they're probably going to sell a few academy players. I think, I think they said
to hear that Eddie Howe's getting some of the side of it is harsh because you've got to remember the job he did.
Yeah, I think it is harsh.
You know, he got a top 4 finish, managed to get Champions League. He managed to get them to the Carabao Cup final, which in itself is a massive achievement for them.
Yeah.
To have actually just got to a final is a big thing for fans and the club.
I think people got to remember he's not the best. He's not the best manager in the world. He isn't a world class. I would class him as a world class manager.
He's a very good manager of the league.
So he's doing a good job. I mean, I think people are expecting too much from him. Let him do what he's doing. Be patient with him. He's building something there. You've only just got your money in last season.
Yeah.
You know, just give it a little bit. Tottenham, it took us ages to get to this position where you know we had a rough season, but do you know how long it took us to actually get to a Champions League spot? Yeah. I mean, technically, it took us Gareth Bale to get there, but we had such a long process. We were in the 10th, you know, where Newcastle are now 10th, 11th for years, and we just bought the right players. Like Daniel Levy did the right setup, and we found out Harry Redknapp and the right manager. And Harry, you know, it wasn't the greatest, but English manager found his way to get with the team. Did the job, got us into Champions League, and from there we've just only made more and more money. You know, and look at where we are now. Most expensive stadium in the world. You know, it's a process. You have to be patient. Newcastle fans got to be patient. It took us 10 years for that. 10 years I watched that. Us going from, literally, I remember Gareth Bale scoring those goals. Mate, it's more. It's like 12 years. Gareth Bale scoring those goals, get us into the Champions League. To now, literally, well, a few seasons ago, we got back to back about 5 times, right? 6 times Champions League.
Yeah.
So it takes time. But so I was just going to say, to round it up, okay, actually, I'll quickly go on to, so we've done Chelsea chat. I don't think we need to do anything more Poch.
I think Poch is
now, but
position is
Ten Hag
safe as well.
Ten Hag, I think, is in a worse position than Eddie Howe. I think I disagree with your state.
Really?
I think he's lost the full, I think he's lost the dressing room. You know, especially with this whole Rashford situation, which is mental, I must say. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Rashford's in the fall. I don't think no player is bigger than the club or the manager. You know, I don't think you can do that. But he's in a bad state. But the worst bit was after the Fulham game, it was terrible. Like, they were honestly terrible. He went and said that they that they were good, they showed confidence, etc., etc. Like a good manager, like that annoyed a lot of fans because he's like, just go out and just say you had a bad game, just say you need to work on it, apologise to the fans. That's what managers do. But no, he's saying they had a good game, and it's like, grow some
Yeah, but
balls. Just say
it's
it.
probably
Just
for
say what
morale for the club, for the squad.
Maybe. I think he's lost the dressing room that much that he has to say good stuff, because if he says something bad, that's his job.
Yeah.
Gone. He's that nervous about what to say that he can only say positive things.
So, do you think that you are Ten Hag out, or what's your stance on Ten Hag then, just to round this up?
I mean, I would love to see him in because it's just nice seeing United flop. But let's go between each club quickly as we do this. So, the end of the season, who do I think out? I think Ten Hag, yes, out. I think certain players have to go as well in the club.
Yeah.
But I think Ten Hag out. And if I'm going to bring in any manager for United, I'm just thinking of managers at the time. I think the worst thing to do is to go back on history of any club. So bringing in a Mourinho or Conte, actually Conte hasn't been to United, but maybe Conte. But bringing in any history, so no Mourinho, because I know he's been linked. But I think Zidane is on the radar. And look, I'm not saying he's a great manager, but he might be better than Ten Hag in a way where he's worked. The only thing I can say is, you got that sort of mentality with players at United, like Rashford at the moment. Thinks he's bigger than the club, and Zidane's worked with the biggest players on the planet. So he might be better at work. He might be better controlling those players, if you get what I mean, or knowing how to work with them.
I'm with you. Yeah.
That's the only reason I say Zidane. Like, if you're going to keep a player like Rashford, and he's their like poster boy, so I can't see him just getting rid. I know people want him, so that's why I think Zidane. And he's won trophies, so he's got that winning mentality to an extent. So I think he might be the right. I'm not saying he's perfect, but with managers' options at the moment, I think he is the best. I think bringing Conte is great, but he's just going to bring the morale's just going to go darken in that place if you bring in Conte.
Okay.
Chelsea. I'm going to say keep Poch. I think you're doing a process there. I think it'd be bad if not. You can't just give a manager one season with and you're starting to say now with youngsters, etc. So give him a chance. See who he signs. See if he goes for some, overruns the owners and buys some experienced players. That's what he might look to do. So we'll just have to see in the summer. But if Chelsea were to bring in someone else, it's hard because you've had Conte and Mourinho, and I say never to go back on them. But I suppose if you want to, it sounds dumb, but if you do want to get some winning mentalities in those youngsters, you do need, I would probably say, someone like a Mourinho. The only reason I would say Mourinho is I think Mourinho's good at bringing in leaders to Chelsea. I know, but Joe, he was at Chelsea so long ago. I mean, they're back in 2006, right? It's a whole different decade now, or 2 decades nearly. So I don't think it's bad as Conte. I think Conte, no.
Okay.
And then Newcastle, I don't think Eddie Howe should go either, but if he was to be replaced, and do you know what? You might find this interesting. Okay. Do you know who I'm going to go with? And I think he was a very underrated manager. I just think the job was too big for him where he was. Is Ole Gunnar Solskær. Is that a crazy statement?
Yeah, it's a crazy statement, but he was awful.
He wasn't as bad as you think, though. He got onto a few finals. He had a good win ratio. He had a good win percentage ratio.
Yeah.
He was just he just took over you got to remember, he took over United at a very difficult time, and he wasn't a manager. He wasn't that was his first ever experience properly as a manager, managing one of the biggest clubs in history in the world.
But you've lost
I just think running Newcastle and running United is completely different, and I just think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is an interesting. I'm not saying get rid of Harvey.
It's interesting for sure, but I just don't think it's interesting for the right reasons.
Who would you give to Newcastle then? All right,
if you were to I'll go in your order. I'll go in your order. Sorry. Okay, so with United, I think I'd look at Mourinho because
go back on history.
Yeah, we've done it before with Mourinho. He's turned out to be good. Look, Mourinho will win you something. That's one thing. And look, your club might have a different history if he was given that game against City in the final. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I do think that the thing is with United, they need a manager who the player's going to respect. They need a manager who has a track record of being successful. Ten Hag is a very recent manager in terms of success. With Ajax, it was very recent. You need someone who's done it, who is going to get respected.
So you don't think Zidane, though?
No, because
he's one of the best players of all time. He's a respected player.
Let me finish.
I'm just
okay. I think Zidane was very good at Real Madrid because Real Madrid had the resources in front of them.
Yeah, that is.
I think if you give Zidane what he needs, I think he is a very good manager. But I think the United team need. Look, I think Zidane can be Zidane respected as one of the best players ever. So,
and he's won a few trophies.
He's got that, yeah.
Back to back.
But he's not been management for a very long time.
It's true.
And I also think that he's a manager that strikes me as someone who needs things in front of him to work with. You know, I don't think you can give him Diogo Dalot, and that's going to make.
But I think he has got stuff at United. He just needs. You got to remember, United have the money to bring in whoever they want as well. He's got.
Yeah,
remember,
true.
He's got builds. He's got Højlund, who looks great. He's got Garnacho, which looks a prospect. He's got. It sounds crazy, but he's got Rashford. Rashford is a good player. He's just being incredibly stupid at the moment, incredibly dumb.
Yeah,
well, he's still got Rashford. He's got Casemiro in there. You know, he's got an ex-player.
Yeah, I understand that. I completely get that, but I just don't think he's right. I genuinely just don't think. He's
fair enough.
Right
okay, what about Chelsea?
And the other person, there's one more person I'll throw out for United because I'd go with Mourinho and potentially Nagelsmann. Now, maybe it goes back to what I said about respect, but I think Nagelsmann at Bayern Munich, he was a very good manager. I just think the structure in Germany and German football clubs it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know about.
I do think it's very difficult.
I don't think he's good enough for Man U, not for Manchester United. No.
Okay, fair enough. But I think he's someone that I should look at.
Sorry, I do. When you bring it up, I do have one more manager I want to bring up that I might have missed out. But I'll
quickly
go to Chelsea next.
Chelsea? No. Just quickly get United out of the way. Who's a player for United? Who's a manager for United?
I'm staying with Zidane. I'm not going back in history. I'm going someone new, Zidane, new culture.
If I was gonna go, I'd go Mourinho.
Okay, so you're going for go back to a negative culture, but possibly get a win.
It's only negative with Pogba. I just think these players need someone who can.
Everyone knows Mourinho's a great manager, but he sinks a club in the end. In 2 seasons, 3 seasons, the club sank. He's sunk. Potentially. And I think United just need a whole new culture. That's my opinion. Whole new culture, and I don't think they should go back. Chelsea, go on.
For Chelsea, I believe Pochettino. I'm a Pochettino person because
so am
I. You can't really blame him for that. Like that final, you've got to blame the players for not finishing their dinner. Quite frankly, you can't really have a go at Poch. But if he was to leave, I'd look at Nagelsmann again because he's a very exciting young manager, and it was a manager that we looked at, but the deal didn't quite go through. So he's one that I'd look at. I'd also look at. I'd actually look at Tuchel again. I would.
Okay. Even though he's just had a rough job at Bayern.
Yeah, but that's why I probably wouldn't bring him in. But there's name, he's a name that I'd.
Yeah, he's still a name. Yeah, I get what you mean.
I don't think he joined though. But
who would you also just because we're getting
the Sporting Lisbon manager.
Yeah, okay. So who would you go for if Poch goes this summer? Who'd you get in? Who's your man?
I'd probably go for Nagelsmann.
Okay, I'm going Mourinho. I know I don't go back on history, but I think he was so long ago. It's a different story. You need a winning mentality. He'll do it for you, and he'll bring in experienced players because he knows them.
Yeah. For Newcastle,
I missed the manager. I did miss a manager for this.
For Newcastle.
Yeah, I missed one.
You go. So I'm struggling to think of one.
So I've got Ollie, of course, but Graham Potter. I forgot about Graham Potter.
Yeah, I'll probably back you on Graham Potter, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I would back Graham Potter as the first, actually. No, it just came to my mind. Because I was just thinking about other managers and it came to my mind. So Graham Potter possibly for Newcastle. If not, then Ollie.
Yeah.
I think Graham Potter would be there.
Yeah, fair enough. I'd go Potter as well. But yeah, let us know who you guys, what you guys think of the current managers of these situations at the club and who you'd look to bring in potentially. But we're going to move on to the last bit of the FA Cup round.
It's going to be a long episode, guys, but it's an interesting one. It's a good one. It's
going to be a long episode. But we're going to move on to City's.
It's going to be a fun bit.
Monster of a result against Luton with Haaland and De Bruyne.
Yeah, there were so many talking points in that game.
Yeah, but the main one is I don't know if you saw Pep Guardiola's conference about Grealish.
Yeah, I did.
And his comments about Grealish of having to improve. It's been a very tough one for Grealish as he's got injured again. He's got another groin injury.
Doku came in as well, obviously.
Yeah, so he's a player who's really going through it at City.
I really like him as well. I feel so bad for him.
Yeah, I feel bad.
He was in tears as well, and I think he's a great player, and I think he should be going to the Euros, personally.
Well, I mean, I'm not too sure about Euros, to be honest, because I think
a left winger, even if it is a sub.
I mean, he'll go because it's Southgate, so he will go. But I do think if these injuries keep up, will we even see him fit enough to play for England when the Euros come round? But I want to bring us into a little segment here, which we haven't actually done on the channel, on the podcast before, where we're actually going to name our top 10 England wingers,
and this could be very fun.
This could be very interesting and controversial because you are a man of hot takes, I'd say.
I am.
You are. So
I'm going off what I've seen this season. Are you going off just this season or like?
I've got a mixture of both. I think longevity has to play a factor.
Okay, I haven't really done that.
I've also looking at versatility because there's a few names in here that they're probably better than the person above in other positions, if you know what I mean. But as a winger, this is what I think.
Do you want to go first then?
I'll go first.
Okay, start with 10 and work your way up.
I've got 3 honourable mentions.
So you've got 13.
I've got Jacob Murphy in there.
Okay, yeah.
Tavernier from Forest, from Bournemouth because I actually like him. Okay. And I've got Avi Barnes because
I forgot about Avi Barnes actually.
Yeah, but anyway, they're just 3 names.
He doesn't make my top 10 though. So.
No.
Okay, in number 10.
Interesting. In number 10, I've got Brighton winger / wingback Solly March.
Oh, I forgot about him.
I think I'm
not going to change my list now, but I do wish I put him in there.
Yeah, don't change it. Do not change it. If you start mixing it
I'm not. Look, hands are here.
In fact, I'm tempted to now put you first because I don't.
Promise you, I won't change it because it make it fun.
Okay, right. So 10th, I've gone Solly March because I do like Solly March.
Yeah.
What he's done at Brighton, versatility of being a wing back and a winger.
Yeah.
And also a striker, and he's got.
I mean, he's a great player.
Yeah.
I forgot about
number 9.
Yeah.
Very controversial one here, but controversial for other reasons.
Okay.
Man who moved to Getafe, Mason Greenwood.
Okay.
You don't sound convinced.
Like he's. Don't get me wrong. I think when he was at United, he was great, and he's been doing good at Getafe. But I can't put him there because he's playing in a Spanish league at a low club, and I think there's players that play better than him.
Okay, fair enough. At 8, I've got Anthony Gordon.
You're going to cause so much hate over that, you know that.
Yeah, I know, but look. Okay, whether I agree that he should be playing football is a different story. Like, he is currently playing, so I do think he is up there in top 10.
Is he going to go to the Euros?
No, obviously not. And I don't think he should because of what happened. But I don't want to get into the political side of things. But
I
would like to clarify if he did get chosen, I do believe that would cause mass havoc and there would probably be protests, which I'd agree with because, in fact, I'm not too sure how he's still playing football. But anyway, that's again.
All right, just go 8 before you say something wrong. Before you say something wrong.
8th, Anthony Gordon.
Okay.
7th, Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
6th, Jared Bowen.
6th, okay.
5th, Marcus Rashford.
Oh, this is a mess.
It's not a mess though. It's not.
Wait till you hear mine. You're gonna go crazy.
Fourth Raz of the Dream, Big Sterling.
Okay.
I've gone third Jack Grealish.
Yep.
Second Phil Foden.
Yep.
And first Bukayo Saka.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually so intrigued to hear yours.
Okay.
I'm so intrigued.
No, I think. Okay, so my I don't know, honourable mentions. I'm just gonna go.
Just
with
go.
my 10.
Just go straight into the 10.
Number 10. I'm going Leicester City winger Mavididi.
Mate, how can you put a Championship player in the 10?
Well, firstly, you said earlier in the episode, Leicester more or less a Premiership side.
Fair play.
And within that Championship side at Leicester, he's one of the best players, and he's been great for them.
Do you know what you've done with that? So I'll say fair.
So technically, he's a Premiership team, and he's one of their better players. So I'm putting him at 10. Cool. I think he's a great player.
Cool. Yeah, fair.
Number 9. So I've really took this season into account here.
Okay.
Number 9's Marcus Rashford.
Okay, no, I get it. I do get it, but
he had a great season last season. Don't get me wrong, but he's very inconsistent. Very inconsistent. Like the season before that, he wasn't great. Season before that, he was good.
I just want to know who you put in front of him. That's all I want to know. So just keep going.
Number 8, and you missed him out actually.
Okay.
Harvey Elliott.
I see it, but
I think he's quality. I think he's a good player. Very good player. Number 7, Raheem Sterling.
Okay, yeah.
A great player, could run fast, do all that. His finishing's a bit on the mare side, but he's a good player. That's why he's at my 7. Okay. I've put this guy 6th because he does very similar, but can actually score. I know I'm saying that like Raheem Sterling hasn't scored 100 plus goals, but still. Anthony Gordon.
Okay.
He has. I think he's been better than Sterling, personally. Number 5, Cole Palmer. Number 5, Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Number 4, I have put the upset man, Jack Grealish.
Okay.
Number 3, I've put Jared Bowen.
Fair enough. Okay.
I don't know how you can say that. He plays for West Ham and he's been unbelievable. And you just said versatility as well. Can play wing and striker. Yeah, and he does the job.
Yeah. All right.
Number 2, Phil Foden, of course. I think he's a great, obviously one of the best players in the league at the moment. He's a better 10 than winger. He's a better 10 than winger, personally. And number 1, of course, and I hate it because he's an Arsenal player, but I love him, Bukayo Saka. Yeah. I do love him. I think he's great quality. What do you think about that list?
Look, like,
what have I done?
I understand what you've taken into current situation, right? But
maybe I put Rashford a bit too low. I think that's a bit harsh.
But you've got to put respect on people's names. Like Palmer's been good this season, but he's had half a year. But you can argue he's done more than what Anthony Gordon has since he's been in the Prem.
I get there's longevity, because some players have played longer than others. Like Sterling has played longer.
Yeah, but
I'm just going off of what I'm watching on the pitch. I think Cole Palmer is a better player than Raheem Sterling. I think he's more complete because he can actually. I know. I say Raheem Sterling can't score goals because he can, but he does miss a lot of big chances, big chances. And I think Cole Palmer is a better player in that sense.
I do think give it next season, Palmer will be higher. But
I put Gordon above Sterling, though. You didn't like that, did you? Anthony Gordon above Sterling.
What have you done there?
What do you mean? What have I done?
Anthony Gordon is he's all right, but he's not
He's been scoring so many goals, so many.
Yeah,
I mean, he's that good. He's that good and he's versatile as well. He's that good that he plays on the left, and they take off Isaac. They actually take off Isaac for a winger and put Anthony Gordon up front because he can play the striker role, and he scores in the striker role.
Does he?
No, he scored big goals in the striker role. Scored big goal. Scored the goal against Arsenal. When he got put there. Played the striker in the FA Cup the other night. Scored there. He does score goals. I think he's great.
Yeah, but he's great. Scoring better than Sterling's outrageous.
Okay, Mavididi at number 10. You didn't care about that, did you? You actually found that quite fair.
I can see that, and he probably would go my honourable mention, but the step up to the Premier League is a very different ball.
It will be different, but I think by the standards of what I'm seeing, he's my 10.
Okay, fair. No, look, I'm not against it. I'm not against it.
9 being Rashford. Is that too harsh?
It is hard. For me, don't get me wrong, he's had a stinker of a season, and he did okay last year to come back from being stinky.
Yeah.
He had a good end to the season, but the thing with Rashford is look, I don't want to be one of them people, and a bit like when Pogba was at United and say, "Oh, there's a player in there, on his day," but there is a player in Rashford. I think when you get a player out of Rashford, he is unstoppable. You've got to remember the amount of goals that he's scored in the Prem.
You've got to be honest though with one thing. How we've known of Marcus Rashford for years, right? Since the day that he literally debuted for United.
Yeah.
Tell me a season. Tell me when a season where he really stood out. Last season, right?
No, it's probably.
Tell me a season before then where he stood out completely above all the other wingers and strikers.
Well, yeah, probably last year.
That's it, right? That's the only time of all the years we've been watching.
There was another season. I can't remember what season.
It probably would have been his debut season.
There's one before that.
Don't say the one where he scored the good goal for PSG, etc. When in the comeback.
No. But you've got to put respect on his name. Like,
he's not a player that should be on the money he is, though.
I don't know. Like he's a very because
I'm not saying he's bad, but I just think with the attitude reasons and the and the way he acts sometimes, and his work rate is terrible. He's got such a bad work rate.
Yeah, but look, I think there's a lot going on in his life that is obviously affecting.
Maybe that's also maybe what I'm missing. But I saw something that he's not getting along with Ten Hag. So is it a fact that he's fallen out with the manager and he doesn't want to play for him? But you can't do that because your job, you're getting paid what people would dream of earning.
Yeah.
In a year. He gets paid a week what people would dream of be earning in a year.
Yeah.
Play for that club, and he's not playing because I don't like the manager. You can't do that. Your job's a job.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't say I'm moping.
I get that. But you've got to remember that he still is top 5 wingers in the league.
And there's 2 that you also seem to be a bit funny about. Elliot at 8, you didn't like.
I think he's good. I just don't think that I think the 10 that I've put in are better than Harvey Elliott, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Elliot's unbelievable. I think he's a great player. I just don't think he gets the starting that he does.
He might not get the recognition. I'd say maybe he doesn't get the recognition.
You've got to be so young. He's still young.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
And he's made over 100 Premier League appearances and he's scored plenty of goals and assists, big goals as well. Can I just say?
But this is the thing though, is that I'm not saying that currently he's rubbish. I'm not saying he's bad. I just think that there's the English wingers in the league right now. There's a lot in there. There's a lot of competition. I think to just block out last season or the season before isn't fair, because if you're going based currency, like current right now, it could look very different. But again, a lot of these youngsters have only had a few appearances.
I did wish I put Sonny Marsh in my team. That's one thing I did wish. And I probably am disrespecting Rashford a bit too much. I probably should have him higher because he's a good player.
9 is
But what about one thing you were really shocked by, the last one, Bowen at 3. How is that a shock?
He's good. He is good, but I think
stop being a London hater.
I'm not being a London hater.
He's great
because I put Saka first. But
he's unbelievable.
He is.
He's a goal-scoring machine. He's that good. Liverpool want to look at him as a replacement for Salah.
I don't know how to say it or how to put it, but I think he'd struggle elsewhere.
What does he do wrong?
Yeah, but
I don't think he would. What does he do wrong? He's strong. He's fast. He's great he steps up in big games. He scored many big winning goals. He scored him the goal that won him the Conference League last season. Yeah. He steps up in big games. This season, he's had to play out of position. He's had to play a new position striker because they don't have a striker. And he's been the best striker they've had for years. He scored a hat-trick the other night.
Yeah.
He has been one of the best strikers they've had for years. He scored... How many goals has he scored this season? I haven't seen a West Ham striker score that many goals.
I think he's got 11 or 12 in the league.
Exactly. How long has it been since a West Ham player scored 12, 13, a striker scored that many goals in one season? Maybe
Antonio's
Arnautovic, maybe?
Nah, Antonio, I think, has done it once.
Maybe he's done it, but Bowen is unbelievable.
No,
and he's got assists to his name as well.
No, I do think Bowen's good. But again, I think it's all very recent. I think if you give him another year,
I would say it's not
things
recent,
change.
though. It's not recent because he's been good. He's been good for like 4 seasons now at West Ham.
In my opinion, the five ahead of him get in over him in the England team.
The 5 ahead of him.
Yeah.
Oh, that you've put in your list.
No, I don't think they would actually because it's based on recency. I'm just going based on like.
What's your list? Wait, what's the one? Where did you put Bowen?
No, because I put him 6, but I think he.
Who did you put above him? I just want to hear yours above him.
I put Rashford 5, Sterling 4, 3rd Grealish, 2nd Foden, 1st Saka.
He goes straight. He goes well above Rashford, Sterling. He goes right, and he goes above Grealish as well. I love Grealish, but I think Bowen is better than Grealish. Just to the fact that they're very different players, but I think Bowen can just do more than Grealish on the goal threat, the goal side.
But I don't think Bowen can do what Grealish does. Like, I don't think he could go in that City side. That's what I'm. I don't think he'd fit in to other teams.
No, maybe not fit into Pep's side. He'd fit into Liverpool's team. He'd fit into Liverpool's though.
Maybe
easily.
No,
because that's how they play. You got to remember at Liverpool. That's how Liverpool's counter-attacking team, right? They're great, but they are a counter-attacking team in a way.
Yeah.
So are West Ham, and he does great at that job.
Look. No,
I think Liverpool with the injuries, if Salah went, I think Liverpool would happily take Bowen. Happily.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that, but I just think that it's all very recent. You know, like I think you've got to take some. Like for me, if Rashford does reach the form that he was on last season, you think this bad form has only happened in the space of 6 months?
The whole season.
No, it's not a whole season though, because he was great last year.
Yeah, I'm saying this whole season.
Yeah, so 6 months?
Yeah.
From September to now, that's 6 months.
So how can you go from the season you had last season to the season you're having this season? How is that possible?
But that's the thing, we don't know his personal life. Like
no, you don't. But you don't make it worse by going partying and posting it on social media, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And then calling in sick because you're drunk. I don't care what goes through your head. You don't do that. If you're having issues, you tell your manager. You tell that.
Yeah, but
he obviously hasn't done that.
Again, is Ten Hag the person that you want to go to and tell that? Probably not.
No, he probably is. He's just being idiot. I think at the moment. I don't know too much because you had the whole Dele Alli situation recently come up after years. But from what I know, I don't know what could be going wrong in Rashford's life. He literally had the paycheck of his life boost in coming into the new season. Unless something really bad has happened in his family, he's got no excuse. You can't say because a manager you don't like, that's why you're going to play bad. That's outrageous. But what did you guys think of our top 10 England wingers? We'd like to see what you think.
I feel like people wouldn't agree with. I think they'd agree with your list more, but
really,
yeah, because I think there's a lot of recency bias.
I have put recency bias in mine, but I should have looked at. Then again, were we doing top 10 England wingers overall, or were we doing top 10?
I thought it was overall, and I've tried to put a mix in there.
Okay, okay.
I do.
I've got more current.
Yeah, which I think people might tend to, but I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Palmer isn't currently a better winger than Rashford because numbers wise he's doing better, but I think to then just to disrespect Rashford's. I'm not like Sterling. We're not like Sterling isn't like ancient.
No, don't get me wrong. If it wasn't current, Rashford would be like obviously.
Yeah, there's still elements to the players that they're still above Palmer.
But it's obvious. But I think you have to do current because you can't do overall because Palmer's played 1 season where Rashford's played 7 seasons.
But that's my point.
That's not fair. That's why they current.
Yeah, but in my opinion, though, that factors into being the best winger in the league. If this was do your order of who gets into the England team, it'd look very different. But the top 10 English wingers for me, you have to factor in a lot,
So going to the next session, and we won't take too long on this time. We're going to the Premier League because we've been missing out on that. And there's just a few things we quickly want to cover. I don't think it'll take too long. This will probably be the longest of it. So recently, Everton had their appeal. I don't know if you know about this or not. I'm sure many people have. That it was all over Sky Sports.
Yeah.
And they had their 10-point deduction taken down to 6 points. So they got a 4-point given back. Now, my question to you is it fair that points should change during the season? Because, yes, I feel bad for the 10 points for Everton at first.
Yeah.
But they worked their way through it, they were out of the relegation. But poor Luton now, who have worked their socks off and, haven't been in the Prem, ever.
Yeah.
And I don't know if ever, I don't actually know my history. I have my ball on just a bit bad there, but I'm going to say ever for now. They have tried so hard and they were right there. They were 1 point off Everton. But now there's a 4-point gap. And it's just like, is that unfair for Luton?
Look,
because now Luton are mentally in such a bad position. They're like, we've worked this hard, we're 1 point off, and now bam, 4 points, boom. And I know they've got a game in hand and they could go 1 point behind Forest, etc. But it's still frustrating because they had that game in hand on Everton. They had a game in hand on Everton.
This is something that I actually believe shouldn't have happened in the first place. I think to have given them a mind. This is why I think football is just a very tough one. Because I'm going to link to the City charges as well. The thing is with the City charges, right, and it's the same thing as Everton charges, is, well, it's a bit different, I suppose. But what like this? Let's say the City charges go through, right, and they get found guilty. Nothing isn't going to happen until the next season, right?
Of course, yeah.
I think the same treatment should have happened to Everton.
Start of the season, they get the treatment. They start with minus 10 points.
Yeah, I think. Start the season, yes. I think during the season is where it gets very difficult because if you get hit by minus 10, right, it just messes the season up. And also, if you get a situation like that, like for me, I think it's ridiculous how they've managed to get 4 points back. I think
I don't even understand how this has happened. But who's gone wrong here? Because how can you even appeal and get? How can you appeal and get to 6 points? Like, what did you possibly do that made it so you've still done something wrong, but it's not worth 10 points? I don't understand that, and I don't know why Everton were that bothered. They were out of the relegation, so I don't know why they were so thingy with this.
Look, in my opinion, I think it's just messing up the season.
Completely. I feel so bad for Luton because I love Luton. I think everyone's enjoyed Luton this season.
But at the end of the day,
I want them to stay up. I want them to stay up.
So would I. At the end of the day, though, is for me, it's important that Luton uses as motivation now to fight back. It's fortunate for Everton. There's other teams around there like Forest.
And again, you say it's fortunate, but it's unfortunate because they did have the 10-point deduction.
Well, you look
in the
at
first place.
Forest have dropped now. They're only
that's what it is now. Everton are kind of out of it now.
Well, no, Brentford is still Everton and Brentford are still together 25. There's only 5 points in Luton.
My guess for the
hand,
so my guess for the relegation, we can make our predictions again. Okay. I think we already did it, but I remember my predictions was 20th Sheffield, 19th I had Burnley. And then 18th, I actually had Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, I'm with you on that as well. I'm completely the same. I think Luton will stay up. I think Luton have got a very good collective.
I think Forest got. Do you know what I'd love as well? If Forest go down, I want to see he's going to pick up Awani. Because I think Spurs should go for him, personally.
Who?
Awani?
Oh, yeah, Tyler Awani.
The striker, he's great.
Yeah. Well,
and we've got Alanga there as well. He's good. They've got good players.
But look. Anyway, back to your original question. I do think that it is annoying that these things keep happening. And for me, I just think it's stupid. It's like, well, why have they managed to get 4 points back? Look, if they've been found guilty of whatever the charge is, they've got to firm it. They should, whoever is in charge, the legal action behind it, the league, whatever, Premier League, whoever it is, they should have blocked off the appeal and just made it non-negotiable, because you've got to think about the league more than anything. I think if things keep chopping and changing, Everton have also still got another thing in action. They've still got some other.
Yeah, and so it's Nottingham Forest, actually, believe it or not. Nottingham Forest are the one there. So is that going to happen before the season ends? Because now it's really bad because they have this. This is the confusion part about this. They have that to happen. It's happening it's been said this season. if they do get points deductions going into next season now, is that unfair for Luton and any other teams in that bottom? Because how can this all happen with the point deduction thing and Nottingham Forest and Everton, who have one charge each now still to go?
Look,
why is there not point change for them now? Because it's just getting unfair. It just makes no sense.
I just strongly believe that decisions should be made this season, and they should happen going forward to the next season. I don't think it would affect anything, because
I think if Forest and Everton get appealed this season, I think. And do you know what, John? I was going to say as well, just quickly, Everton fans, I wonder what they say now, because they were all going on against the Premier League. The league's against us. Well, you've got 4 points back now, so are they still against you, or are they for you?
Who knows?
Because there was always this thing behind them that they want to get Everton relegated. Well, they're giving you 4 points, so do they want to get you relegated?
Yeah,
like they've got you the perfect. They got you the perfect amount of points to keep you safe from relegation at the moment. But it's just disgusting, man. It's so disgraceful. It's annoyed me. I mean, the 10-point deduction annoyed me, but I think this has hurt me even more because of my love for Luton at the moment.
I mean, it's not something that massively bothers me, but I think things look, for something to be the best league in the world, you need things to happen swiftly.
It's ruining.
I think things like this,
been a mess.
Things like this, it does look messy, to be honest.
Everything like this is the worst. Can I just say it's the worst season, the most disgraceful season of referees, VAR, and now this.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
Absolutely shocking. This is supposed to be the best league in the world, as you said, and this is what we're dealing with. The only thing that's keeping it alive is the talent we have in this league.
Yeah, well, and also
that's the only thing that's keeping it alive.
There's a lot of competition.
Yeah, the competition and the talent in this league. That's what's keeping it alive. Everything else is just poor. Yeah. I mean, the La Ligas look good this season because of the state of the Prem this season.
I wouldn't go that far. I still think the Prem's been
maybe not good, but the league has got a lot more look at this year, and I think it's because of what's been happening in the Prem this season with everything going on.
Things like this just get messy, and quite frankly, it's why fans turn off and fans can't be asked, because we don't know what's going on. Look, to be honest, I think it should have been a non-negotiable appeal. Look, I don't think things should have changed, because I do think for the league it's messy, for the clubs it's messy, and also it just becomes a bit unfair in terms of structure, because let's say the next thing that goes through for Everton, they get another -10. Well, if they appeal that, what's the difference with the appeals? Like, what? It's
because what happens if they get that point deduction? What happens if they get the point deduction towards the end of the season? Yeah, just say they do, and it says they're relegated, but then they do an appeal. Yeah, so Luton have stayed up. Just say Luton have stayed up. Yeah, and they get an appeal. They appeal for it, and they get some points back, and it means Luton fall into the relegation. How do you think that makes them feel?
Well, very frustrated.
It's just disgusting.
Look,
they were prepared for the next game in the Premier, and now they're back in the Championship.
I just think it's
like that.
It's completely messy, to be honest. I think that's the main problem.
They really need to fix it.
Yeah,
I think the appeals for Everton and Forest do this season, if they are going to, because I just think it's so messy that you might as well keep it consistent at least. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But anything else, the City one and any other appeal that happens towards any other appeal happens towards the last 5 games of the season, go into the next season.
Yeah.
Start it there, do the appeals over summer, let the league start how it should. If City get relegated, they get relegated. If City start with -30 points, then let them start with -30 points. Like, it's just... I don't know. But let's go on some positives of the Prem.
Yeah.
Been a good race at the top, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
Got three very... I mean, this is the tightest I've seen it for years.
Yeah.
So we got, obviously... I don't know who's actually at the top at the moment. Is it Liverpool City?
Liverpool.
Liverpool at top, and then it's City and Arsenal, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Wait, I think there's like a 2-point gap between all three.
Liverpool on 60, City on 59, and Arsenal 58. So it's all very close.
Yeah, 2 point.
Yeah.
So, who do you think will win?
City.
That's my question. You still positive City?
Yeah.
So I think, I suppose,
I think so.
It's so difficult now because City have had such a strange season. I haven't thought City have been good all season. Like, not the City up to standard.
Their best, no, yeah.
But they looked like Haaland scored, and Haaland was one of the key ones because he wasn't scoring. He was missing big chances.
Yeah.
But he just went and scored 5. What's that going to do to his confidence? God knows.
Yeah, and De Bruyne's back.
But Liverpool just won a cup, so they're confident. Arsenal at their best. It's so difficult because each team's probably gaining confidence. Arsenal at their best in the Prem at the moment, probably the most informed team in the Prem.
Yeah.
City have just gone and battered, and Haaland's probably full of confidence now. Liverpool obviously won a Carabao Cup. You know, their youngsters just won there off the back of confidence.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know how it's going to go.
I think City have too much.
What's your order? That's going to be my question. What's the order?
I think
it's going to be very tight.
I think it will go City, Arsenal, Liverpool.
That's what I think as well. I was going to say exactly.
I think Liverpool will drop off because of injuries.
I think they'll lose the bigger games.
Don't get
the bigger
wrong,
games.
They're the Carabao Cup final. It wasn't the best performance from them, to be honest. And the game against Southampton yesterday, they was using all their youngsters and it was a great showing. But still, I don't think Southampton they're a championship side. And I didn't involve them with Leicester and Leeds earlier. I said Leicester and Leeds are the Premier sides. I'm not too sure about Southampton. I still think they've got a lot to do in terms of the club and the squad. But injuries is where it's a tough one for them. Because, yes, once they get these players back, I'm sure they'll start doing well. But it does take time for players to come back from injury, as we've seen throughout the whole season. And I just think City's firepower is just too good. De Bruyne,
I don't think City are going to lose a game now. I think that's it. I think they're going to win every game.
But De Bruyne coming back is just a big bonus because essentially he was the one who's getting Haaland goals and he's just gone and got 5 assists. Is it 4 or 5? 5 assists to De Bruyne. Oh, no, 4 assists to Haaland.
Well, they played exactly how Haaland should play, which is that ball across the floor, in behind, let him run.
Well, it's just De Bruyne.
No one's faster than him. No one's stronger than him.
It's just
as he's running like that.
De Bruyne finding Haaland. That is basically
it. But that's what they did last season, and that's why they got 40 plus goals.
And I think Arsenal finished second because, as you said, their form and they look
and no
they're in a real groove. I watched their game against Newcastle on the weekend. And
mate, I can't admit,
good.
I'm a Tottenham fan, but I've got to say I was impressed because they looked really good. Saka looked good. Even Havertz playing in that false 9 looked good.
Really well,
And Rice, you know what? I've said all season they've been playing Rice wrong. Rice should be playing that 8 role, running back and forth, getting shots off.
Yeah.
He looked like driving the ball forward. That's how he should be playing. And look how good he looked. I've said it all season.
I'd like to shout out to their set piece coach because I'll tell you
they're unbelievable.
Them set pieces, I think they're up to 19 goals from set pieces.
I don't know if it's just like the balls into the... I mean, it's so clever what they do. They run from back post to front post and it really causes chaos. But Gabriel is so good in the air, isn't he?
Well, it's Saliba as well. As well, the players who don't win the headers are really good at blocking off the markers. Trossard is this little annoying fucker in there who somehow just managed to block off this.
Well, everyone's normal tactic is they sit on the goalie.
Yeah.
And you put a ball in and hope the goalie doesn't get it. Spurs do quite an interesting one. I mean, Liverpool's is just they've got the big players. They've got Konate and Van Dijk to win a header. Spurs have got an interesting one. We do something with a near post, which is quite good.
Yeah.
When you got Poro's foot, we get a near post header, and it's always Richie or someone right in there, tucked in, very close to the keeper. Everything. So if there is a header, it's not being saved. But I'm not going to put that above Arsenal because Arsenal
set pieces are unreal. And do you know?
It will get him second in the season.
I didn't realise that Rice had it in the locker.
I didn't know he took their call.
No,
I mean both of them. Saka as well on the other wing.
Yeah. And then them type of moments where set pieces. Look at James Ward-Prowse for Southampton last season. Although he didn't stay up, obviously, he managed to find goals out of nowhere. And look, set pieces.
If only Harry Maguire went to West Ham, they'd have the most goal set pieces in the whole league.
Yeah. So look, I do think it will go City, Arsenal, and Liverpool.
And of course, just a quick one. Full spots getting tight as well for Champions. I mean, I don't know if fifth gets Champions League as well, but I'm just going to go fourth for now because it's the more important spot.
Yeah.
You've got Villa, you've got Spurs, and I don't know how they've done it, but I'm going to say Man United because they are in the
8 points
they are
off
in it at the moment.
8 points off.
Well, yeah, they're they're 3 points off us, but we have a game in hand.
Yeah.
Because they lost to Fulham.
Oh, yeah.
So who does that full spot go to, do you reckon? Be honest.
I think it's going to go Tottenham.
You reckon we'll get it? Just scrape it in?
I think Villa... No,
we do have a game against Villa, so I think that'll decide it.
I think you will more than scrape it. I think Villa will start to drop off because...
They were dropping off a little bit, wasn't they? They were dropping off a little bit.
Really well at home, and then they lost a few games at home. They lost to us in the FA Cup in the replay 3-1. I think it's very hard to just keep... Look, Villa have done really well, and they've looked quite good this season. But I think compared to you, I think you'll do it.
I think we will get it. I just think our players need more match sharpness. I think we've got the whole team back at one bounce again, and they're not like the start of the season used to playing with each other yet.
Yeah.
But I think once they get connected, and it Maddison once he gets really, going from he's probably 7 out of 10 at the moment, going back to his 9 out of 10 performances.
Yeah.
I think we could nick it just about, and because we've been in those moments before. Sonny's been there. Sonny has step up.
Yeah,
we've got big players that could step up. So, but I'll still give it to Aston Villa. They still got a chance.
Really, you're going Villa?
No, I'm going Spurs.
Okay,
I'm going to go Spurs. But I think they will give us a run. Villa. They will give us a difficult run.
No, I think.
I think United is stay close though. I do believe they do get points. United somehow they scrape points.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what
mad as they've been.
That's why I think Ten Hag. Don't get me wrong. Like I do understand why people say Ten Hag out, but look, as long as he's getting results, it's difficult to say otherwise. But yeah.
Just because the podcast struggle on, have you got the fixtures in front of you?
I do,
for this weekend.
I've got the fixtures.
Let's finish off predicting the fixtures.
Okay,
so
cool.
Let's give it to us one at a time, really quick, and just say who we think will win. Don't have to go in detail, just who we think will win and the score.
Yeah.
And we'll do a score thing at the end. We'll come back next week and we'll say our points. We're actually doing it now. We've done it before and we didn't, so we'll start off with that next time.
First game I've got here, we've got Newcastle Wolves. I'm going to go for a draw.
I'm going to go 3-1 Newcastle.
Okay.
They got Willett back. He scores goals now.
Scoring as well?
Yeah, 3-1 Newcastle.
I'm going to go 2-2.
Okay.
Then I've got your club, Tottenham, up against Palace, new manager. I'm going to go...
We are home.
Yeah, you are at home, so Tottenham beat Palace. I'm going to go 2-1 Tottenham.
I'm going to go 4-0. I think we're coming off a loss in the last game. We're going to go smash them.
All right, fair enough. Third game I've got here, I've got Forest versus Liverpool. I am probably going to go with a comfortable 2-0 win for Liverpool.
I'm going to go 3-1 again for Liverpool.
Okay.
I think Liverpool youngsters, they will concede. Awani will probably score.
Okay.
But I think, Liverpool.
Another 3 o'clock fixture. No midday fixture on the Saturday. All 3 p.m. kickoffs. Okay. Brentford beat Chelsea is the next one. I'm actually going to go with a 2-1 win for Brentford.
I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea.
Okay.
I actually am.
I'm just going to disclaim, I'm not some negative fan for the club. It's not like Carabao.
No, it's just been on. No, you've had a bad away form this season, and Brentford.
Bad away form, and Brentford have been our. I
think Brentford have been terrible.
Brentford have been our bogey team in recent years. We've lost.
Maybe I took that into consideration.
So that's why I'm going with a Brentford win. There is logic behind it.
I'm going to do 2-1 Chelsea, though. I do think you'll still win. I think you'll find a way.
We've got Everton, West Ham.
I think the back of Jarrod Bowen scoring a hat-trick, I think it's going to be an upset at Goodison Park, and I'm going to go 2-1 West Ham. 2-1.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go the other way. I'm actually going to go with a 2-0 win to Everton, I think.
I think Bowen goes back on it, he scores a brace again. I do. I think he's on a bit of form.
Fulham versus Brighton at the Craven Cottage. I'm going to go... This is quite a tough one, actually.
I'm just going to go 1-0. No, because Brighton scored, don't they? I'm going to go 1-0.
I'm going to go 1-0. I'm going 2-2.
Yeah, we're both going draw, but I'm going 1-0.
And then the last game on Saturday in the evening at 5:30, Luton Town versus Aston Villa. I'm actually going to go with 3-2.
I'm going to go with Luton win.
Yeah, I'm going to go Luton win.
I'm going to go... You know what? Even crazy. I'm going to go 4-2.
4-2. Fair play. Fair play. Sunday,
I'm not being a hater and wanting Aston Villa to lose. Well, I do want that to happen, but I think everyone's disregarded Luton at home this season, and I think Aston Villa's away form's not as
great.
good.
We move on to Sunday. We've got a pretty meaty, boring Burnley v Bournemouth. I'm probably going to go 2-1 Bournemouth.
Yeah, 2-1 Bournemouth as well. Yep. Actually, I'm going to copy you.
Then we've got the Manchester derby. We've got Man City versus Manchester United.
I think, do you know what? This has been a thing for so long where people go into this game and United are going to get battered. But they sort of they do sort of have a thing to it. They counter-attack them and they score these goals that are very strange. But I said, and I'm still to it, City will win every game going into the rest of the game. So I'm going to go. Joe, I think it's going to be better than you think. No, I'm going to go. I'm going to go 3-1 City.
I'm actually going to go like crazy, and I'm just going to go like 5-2 City.
Okay.
I'm just going to go. I'm going to go bold. 5-2 City.
Who else is there?
The last game
of
match day 27, Sheffield United versus Arsenal, and this could genuinely be an absolute battering.
This could be 9 consecutive 2 goals in each half. And I wouldn't put Arsenal past them to do it. I show what I'm going to go. I think they bring on subs and stuff like that. Arsenal, if they go quite high up, so that'll stop the goals going in. I'm going to go another 6. I'm going to go same as Burnley, 6-0 Arsenal.
I'm going to go 4-1.
Actually, 5-0. I'm going to go 5-0.
I'm going to go 4-1. I think Sheffield United will get a goal in there. I'm going to go 4-1.
Okay, I'm going to go 6-0 Arsenal, though. Okay. I'm going to give them another 6.
We'll review that next week.
Yeah, and we'll get some points and see who's good. Yeah. We'll add some point system.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So what we'll make the point system up then right now. We'll just do if you get the thing right, if you get the team, if you get the result right, if you get the result right, you get a point. If you get the score, 2 points.
It's 2 points. Yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Cool.
And if you get it wrong, should be -1 now, Jacob?
No, we can't do that.
But just leave it at that. Too complex.
Yeah.
Do you want to outro us for this long episode?
I'll do my best in the edit to try and condense it down as much as possible. But we can always help you guys out with watching through use of TikTok, Reels and Shorts. So we always try and condense these episodes down because they can be quite long. Like this one is. It's currently reaching 1 hour 40 on my screen. But
probably be about 1 hour 30, 20 with stops.
We hope, because Tom had to do a toilet break. So
I needed, man. I had a chicken madras.
He went straight through me before this. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode. As I said, we have had a massive break, so we are looking to try and get back into the swing of things. And whatnot,
happily,
a better weekend to do it on with the Carabao Cup final and with some big results. And some big fixtures coming with the Manchester derby on Sunday. So
that goes could be good talking points.
Exactly. So we're going to try and get back into the swing of things. We are very busy people lately over the past few weeks.
I am.
I am too. Don't you worry. But we hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we'll hopefully see you back next week.
Yeah, you might see us too much. Just have to adore our handsome faces, but
exactly.
Might be able to get some like ugly like Yorkie on or
something.
Yeah.
We'll hopefully see you next week.
In a bit, guys.